Okay. Now, the next thing we are going to look at will be variables. Okay. Now, in every programming language, there's a way to store variables. And what are variables? They are containers for storing values. Okay. So you know that we have a lot of data types available. We have the int, the string. All those variables are available here in Java 2 as well. And let's take an instance. We want to store information about a customer, or let's say a user in our program. So what are the necessary information to store? It will be the name, the age, the salary, and the others. So this is how we can do that in Java. So if you are storing anything that is series of characters, you go with string. But in Java, the string will not start with lowercase. It's supposed to start with what? Uppercase. Okay. And then the value must be in double quote. When you finish creating your variable, there is the need to add what? Semicolon. If you don't add a semicolon at the end, that is error. It will not run the way you want. It's an error. Okay. And then fast forward, someone prompted me that what is the purpose of the main? What does it do? So the public static void main, understand that this one is like a signature, a formula. It is what Java uses to recognize the function as what? As the entry point. So all our coding for now will sit inside the what? This function. Now keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So we have the string name, storing the name of the person, and then the age. So age is integer. You start with int age, and then the value comes. Now int, it's lowercase. All of them are in lowercase. Then salary. So salary, let me use double. We also have the weight. I'll use float. The weight of the person, 2.5. Now this is it. We have double data type, and then we have the float data type. The two are never the same. So the double data type is used for storing decimals. Float is also used for storing decimals. But the only difference is, double, the size of double is bigger. Double is 4 byte, and then float is double is 8 byte, and then float is just 4 byte. Okay. So whenever you are storing anything about money, finance, you have to use double. Float is good, but then the size is very small. And then another thing, when it comes to calculations, double tends to give precise and then accurate answers as compared to what? Float. So that's the main difference between double and then float. And in Java and other language, if you are writing float value, you want to add f at the end. Okay. You can see without the f, there's an error. So you have to add f so that compiler will better treat it as a float. Other than that, the compiler will treat it, even though it's decimal, but it might think that is a double variable. So the f is needed at the end of the value for float. And then let's create another one, gender. So for gender, if the person is male, N. If it's F, that is female. So you just want to use the char data type. So char data type in Java is used for storing just a single character. You realize if I add more than a character, there's an error. So if it's just M, error is gone and everything is seen as what? Perfect. Okay. So that's the char data type. It's not just a character. And unlike string uses double quote. For char, it's supposed to be single quote. If it's anything apart from single quote, that is total error. It will never work. So if it's char, you want to use your single quote. So what other data type do we have again? We have string, we have int, double, left with boolean. So bool can vote. So boolean can store just true or false. If the data type is boolean, it's just true or false it can store. Now you might think this boolean data type will not be used, but there are a lot of things that we do with boolean. Most of the logics in programming revolves around boolean variables, okay, or boolean expressions. So we even have dedicated video on boolean, talking about the condition of boolean expressions. So just keep in mind for now, it's for storing either true or false. Okay, so that is it. And please, when you are creating your variable, try as much as possible to not add a space in between your variables. Look at the can vote. You realize they are together. You don't want to do this. Variable names are supposed to be written together as one word. Okay. So with this one, I just have to what? Remove the space in between them. Even if the word spans more than one, add them together. That is how variables are supposed to be created. You don't want to add a dot, you don't want to add a dash, dot, or a dash. Get it? They are all not accepted. If you think joining them together will not be okay, you can add a hyphen in between the words. Or to be at the safer side, just write all the words together. Okay. So this is how you can create variables in Java. Now that we have created our variables, let's look at how we can what? Output or display. Now previously in the other video, we looked at the system.out.println. That is what is used for what? Displaying any information out. Okay. So it's like the console.writeLine in VB or C#. Over here, we use system.out.println. Now when typing, make sure that the S will be uppercase. So system.out.println. Okay. Now let me say I want to display the name. So the name comes. We will use the same approach to display for the rest. Control C, Control V. It's not working. I think my control is not. Okay. I wanted to do copy and paste, but I think it's not working. Okay. Since it's not working, then I have to type it manually. So let me pause the video and then do it sharp. Okay, so now we are done. This is how it's going to be. So you realize our variables are inside the what? Inside the print function, the print line function. So system.out.println is what you want to use to what? To display. Now keep in mind that the S is what? The S is uppercase. Apart from that, all is lowercase. Okay, so now let's run the program. You run the program and you can see that the information from the variables or the values are all visible now. Okay, so we have displayed them. Now there's one last thing we'll do and then we'll wrap up. We'll go to the next lecture. So what I want us to do is, you see, instead of having name, Evans 20 and some values here, we want to add placeholders. Okay, so that anyone seeing this one will know that that is the name. Anyone seeing age 20 will know that that is the age. Okay, so to do that, we will just add a double quote, then name, and then plus. Now what's something in the console? So you can see there's a part that is green and then a part that is what? Yellow. Now the green is going to be displayed as it is. That means no matter what you do, whenever you run the application, name is going to be name. And then for this side, it's making reference to the created variable up there. So it's going to actually what? Pick the value. Okay. What is in the double quote will display as how you've written it. But then any variable you referenced inside the print function, it will just pick the value of that variable. So let's run again, and then you can see this time around we have name, and then the value here has what? Has changed. If I come here and then I make it Evans Edu, running it, the name still remains name, but then the value what? Changes. Okay, so that is the approach. If you don't add a plus, this will not work. So we are actually what? Binding the name to what? To the value, so that users can easily see that that is it. Okay. So let's do for age. Okay, so now that is it. So let's run the program. Run, and then you can see we have some information on the screen. So this is how you want to create variables and how you can what? Display the value of the variable. Okay. Now most times people want to store a variable that has the currency symbol, like when it comes to, let's say, salary, they want to append the symbol in front of the value, like dollars. That is very wrong. There's no data type that can allow you put number and then symbol at the same time. So what they do is, this is the approach. You see, we have salary, and then this is in double quote, right? So we can easily put Ghana cedis inside or within the double quote. When we run it, it might appear as though these two are together, but they are never together. We just added it up inside the print line. So that is the approach to use whenever you want to add, let's say, you add some currency symbol, and then the age too, we can add years to it. So when you run it, you can see the person is 20 years. Okay. So always make sure your variable will not be in double quote. You put the variable name straightforward as it is, but with the other information to display, they are supposed to be in double quote. And you need to add a plus. Without the plus, it will not work. So you have to tell Java that the two are not the same. Okay, so it will treat them separately. And then the spaces inside here, they are really helpful. If you remove the spaces, you check the age, and I run it. You see, it has displayed 20 years, but there's no spacing. Okay, so you want to add a space in front of the age, and also before the Y, there's supposed to be a space. When you run it, then output is displayed nicely. Okay, so this is it. Thank you for watching. I think I'll see you in the next video.